All right, peace and blessings. And we're back again with Xhango the guy. We're back here with Nico World. We're one of my mentees. And we about to do we just about to talk.
We about to talk.
We just about to talk.
We
Just about to talk. We're gonna touch on some topics and things like that. He got his queen in the back. She controlling the camera. So listen, she gonna give us a few questions and things like that. But this is our very first video. So hey, we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna flow from the heart with it.
Flow.
But I do want to speak on demystifying a lot of stuff about spirituality. I want to speak on that. So as far as in just like, let's talk about right now where we at. We in South Carolina. So let's speak on how people view spirituality here in South Carolina. Like from my perspective, I see a lot of people that have been like brainwashed and conditioned from religion. They see spirituality as something evil.
Like witchcraft.
Yeah, like witchcraft and you selling your soul for
making pacts with the devil.
Yeah, like crazy stuff, like, and it's just like, and that's not what it is. That's not what it's about. But, of course, religion got a hold on them. So, but so, I mean, like, so what do you feel like, man? Like,
what is spirituality?
Like to you, like, what would you say to explain to people so they can be more comfortable and gain a better understanding than what their grandma, their aunt telling them?
Gladly, man. Spirituality it's a way of cultivating your life around energy, spirit. Spirituality, in my personal opinion, is how you go from within to find your soul purpose within life.
That's true.
A lot of individuals that I meet down here, they don't know exactly what their purpose is, which tends to lead them to follow everybody else. But when you go into spirituality, you go within self. You try to master self.
That's it.
I have plenty of friends that I talk to on a daily basis who want to get to know themselves, find out their gifts, things they didn't need to work on within self. And spirituality, you really go from within to really master yourself so you could become a better version of yourself, man.
That's it.
It's nothing about burning candles and people jumping around fires and sacrificing goats and
cutting chicken heads off. Like
it's nothing like that, man.
It was a point in time where our ancestors have done that, but it was a reason for that.
It had symbolic meaning.
Yeah, it had symbolic meaning, but this is 2025. You no longer really have to do that.
Yep.
Spirituality is just like you say, and I live by that, and I always preach that to people. Like, man, it's know thyself. That's the name of this, is to know thyself.
Yep.
And really, for anyone who in a religion or whatever, or if they seeking like a higher purpose or want to know what's your reason in being on this planet, like that's a question most people
don't know.
Need to know. Yeah. Like they need to at least ask it,
Because I could tell somebody, do you really think you came here to work 70 plus years, have sex, work a job and then that's it? You really think that's your purpose within this physical lifetime?
Exactly. No. Man, you go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Man, bro, like, and it's actually sad. I don't get mad at people, but it's sad to see that some people think they incarnated into this plane just to work for somebody else and then die.
Exactly. And like for real, like I was talking to someone before. I was talking to a client, and I had this conversation, and I was like, "You really think you came here to be the manager at Burger King? Like, you feel like you incarnated from universes away. You came all the way here, like
Burger King manager.
You was there in the spirit realm, and you just was like, "Oh, I'm going back to Earth. I know what I want to do now. I'm going back."
Yeah,
to work at Burger King or whatever. Like, really? You can't have that? Like,
man.
Like, you feel, but it's so much bigger, man. It's so much more to life than what you see. Like, it's physically way much more. Like, yeah, you have to really go within. Now, for those who don't believe that it's a spiritual realm, they don't believe in spirituality. I mean, to me, that's just ignorant. And the lack of knowledge, most people, they ignorant to it. So, I mean, because ultimately, when you dream,
where do you think you go?
Exactly. Like, your spirit travels to other places. So it's not like, but people still just choose to ignore the fact that even that itself, is something like, so, man, a lot of people, they just
They're too
They just
tapped
so
in.
ignorant, man. They just think that the Bible is the be all end all, and that's all it is. Like people just really that's what they think.
And even if you look deep within the Bible has a lot of hidden symbology, a lot of Aristotic knowledge within it.
Exactly, man.
What's the word that I'm looking for? It's not Aristotic, but it literally means hidden. Um, if you go back
You
to
like esoteric?
that's it, esoteric. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it means, hidden. And a lot of stuff that you see day to day life, the American dollar, uh certain symbols, the
Mm-hmm.
medical symbols, all of those symbols that you see on a day-to-day life has a meaning behind it.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Symbology is literally the language of the
That's
subconscious
it.
mind.
That's the language of the subconscious
You know
mind,
what I
bro.
mean? It's how you break down certain images. Your ancient ancestors, they used
Mm-hmm.
this heavily. This is why you hear the term hidden in plain sight, because it really is. You just have to be tapped in with spirit to
Yeah,
understand it, to decode
exactly.
it. And this is
Exactly.
where knowledge itself comes in, because
Mm-hmm.
knowledge is all around you. You just have to be conscious enough to see it.
That's true, man. And that's true. Like going back to speaking on the subconscious mind, like, you know, also with most people growing up from a religious background, a lot of them been continuously through generation and generation and generation been forced into the religion. So like, and this is something we got to speak on too, like growing up as a child, especially if you grew up in the South. It could be anywhere else, but I'm just specifically speaking on the South. If you grew up, a lot of times you was forced to go to church.
Yep. You
Like
didn't want. Yep.
you
I
didn't
be
want to
saying the
go, like
same thing. You were just forced.
you was forced. You just had to go. And that's just what it
And they
is. And
used fear.
that's
Oh, if you
it.
don't go to church, you're gonna go to
Yeah,
hell.
you're gonna burn in hell for eternity. Like
Like you got a body in hell.
exactly though, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, you a scared child like that?
Yeah, using
And it's
fear,
crazy,
man.
man. That's crazy, bro. That's how it is. Like, and they use fear to control. Especially
The
the
masses.
pastor. The pastor. I remember being a little kid and being in church, man, and seeing like the pastor on the pulpit, and he's preaching what's going on in everyday life. Like, I know you got bills need to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah, you need to. I know you're late on rent and your job stressing you, and it's just like
Yeah.
everybody in there like stand up, boss, and they standing up like nigga. Somebody above on the street could have told you that. Like
Yeah, man.
common sense tell you that. Like, but they take it like, oh, you know exactly what he's talking about. Like, this, and that, and they listen and take him word back, like take his word for face value. Like,
Yep.
but I look at it as, man, you don't need no pastor. You don't need nobody to shepherd you. You're not a
No.
sheep.
You
Like, you need to go within. Like, you don't have to sit here and find God through a religion or through a person. Like, ultimately, God created you the same way. If you want to say God,
you are God.
you are God. And my terminology, what I like to say is divine source, the source of all.
That's
I
within
say that.
everybody.
Exactly.
Within every living conscious being within this
Man, that's
plane.
it. Exactly.
We are all God, just in different physical bodies,
That's
having
all,
different
man.
physical experiences.
That's
You
it,
know what
bro.
I mean? A lot of people fail to understand. They identify so much with their physical self, they forget that you were a spirit that descended
Exactly.
into this plane.
Exactly, bro.
You just have to find your purpose within this plane all over again.
Exactly.
But that's another lecture for another day.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
deals with
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna
yeah,
touch into
man.
that too.
Yeah, man.
We definitely gonna touch into that too, man.
But
No.
referring back to the God thing, when I greet people, I say the word God freely, because you have to think about it. You've been creating your whole life, and that's
it.
part of being a God is you
Yeah.
create. With you being a conscious individual, your power lies within your creation. Your ancient African ancestors were a living testimony of that. Look at
That's
all the
true.
great inventions that they created. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
And they highly emphasize that you are the deity within this
Yeah,
physical
you are that.
container. And when you work with these energies, these energies aren't here to save you, but they're here for you to work with and cultivate.
That's
Because
it.
at the end of
That's
the day,
it.
all of these energies represent you, just in
Exactly.
different aspects. But it's
Exactly,
up to
man.
you to master these energies to truly reach your divine self.
That's true. And I tell people that all the time. And like one thing I like to do, I like to channel, and Spirit will give me messages to relate to others. And that's one thing Spirit wanted me to speak about too. Like people really need to stop, like to stop worshiping the deity as it's something outside
Side
of
of
you,
them.
and
Yes.
understand that the deity is a part of you. Like it's an extension of yourself.
Yep.
It's like you can look at it as it's a divine attribute of yourself.
Yep.
You know, so it's basically it's an alchemical formula for you to tap into to channel that energy of the frequency of whatever that deity is.
Through your
So
physical body.
through your physical body, you know, because your mind, you work off of consciousness. So all the deities, they represent, you can look at it like this. They all represent certain frequencies, certain levels of consciousness. So, you know, say for an example, I like to use this example all the time. I always like to say, if it was someone who they wanted to seek more love, more divine love, and sweeten their life and things like that within themselves, then they would connect with Oshun.
Yep.
You know, that's the goddess of love, the goddess of sensuality, the goddess of the rivers, the goddess of sweetness,
prosperity,
goddess of prosperity. So you connect with that deity,
that frequency in life.
That's what you're getting with that frequency
to attain those results.
Exactly.
Yep.
But most people, they go to Oshun and it's like, oh, I need me a man. I need this, and that. Like you're approaching it from a mundane
baseline desire, purpose.
Exactly.
Man.
So I say that to say, don't get your ego caught up in
your spirit.
In your spirit. You got to differentiate the two.
Yes.
You know, so always ask yourself, if whatever it is that you're doing, always ask, is this for my higher cause? Is this for my divine alignment?
And you know, just to add on that, bro, a lot of people like to doubt this type of stuff just because they don't get what they want. Exactly, and they fail to understand everything is not meant for you.
Exactly, man.
Spirit will give you things in one, divine timing.
Exactly.
And two, if it's truly meant for your purpose.
Uh-huh.
And we always like to tell individuals, if you go here for cheap baseline desires, power, sex, it's not going to end good for you.
It's not.
It's not, man, because it's not what these energies are here for. They're for self-development, self-empowerment. You utilize and become one with these energies, and you don't just strive to work with these energies. You strive to become these energies.
Exactly. That's the goal, man. The goal is to embody the energy. You know, when you look at it as, you hear people that say they're a child of this Orisha, a child of that Orisha, and I understand. But you have to understand, it was once a point in time where it's just like you talking to a child, literally.
Yep.
You would teach the child, look, worship this spirit, because you're teaching the child discipline through repetition. They don't know no better. They need to learn repetition and things like that. So that's why it would be that form of worship. But ultimately, once you get to a certain age and you reach a certain level of spiritual advancement, you understand that you're not worshiping the deity no more. You are becoming that.
Yep.
Because now you're mature enough, like in consciousness, to understand, like, okay, now you embody that energy. You're no longer serving and worshiping Oshun. You are not. Now you become Oshun. You embody the frequency.
You and you are her.
That's
she
it.
Works through you. But you understand.
That's it. That's all going on,
that
man.
Your physical body is a container for these energies to manifest through you. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's all about connecting with these specific frequencies.
That's
these
specific
it, bro. Energies, and really utilizing these energies to help improve your life. Man, this is why certain deities, you know, you may have a specific spirit that walks with you, not as a flex, but that energy resonates with your soul purpose here.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But you have to be conscious to understand how it resonates with it. You know, these energies all have specific characteristics. All these characteristics may be tied to planetary frequencies, or just frequencies within your soul.
But how different elements, everything.
Yes,
everything.
Not to mention your body is comprised of different elements
too,
as well.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people, y'all need to get in the mindset of your body is way more than just a body, but it's an intricate piece of technology.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If most people look at it, just don't look at it from the basic perspective of anatomy and just knowing that you just have skin, blood, and this,
tissue,
and that.
bones.
That's it. Like, you are literally made of like every particle within the universe. Like, you, like, that's literally why they say it, like, it's your own universe.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like,
yes.
So, you know, like, and universe, like, you know, so if you really get into it, and just
all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, all of it is within you, because really, like, one of the 7 hermetic principles, the first one is the mind is all, the universe is mental.
Yes, it is,
and that's true.
It is true. a lot of people don't understand that this is a holographic simulation that's being produced by the mind, and the mind is all. This
That's
is
it.
one big projection. But once you understand how to create within the higher planes of the mind, this is where AKA manifestation comes
Exactly.
from. And this is why you hear people say, watch what you say,
Mm-hmm.
or watch how you think, because that's how you create negative energies.
Exactly.
And as you feed into these energies, it could really manifest, excuse my language, hell into your life.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. Oh no, they gonna get it raw and then cut. You
Oh
already
yeah,
know. Like
man. You know,
some people they learn that way. So
yeah.
hey, you know.
But
Yeah, no, that's definitely what it is, man. Most people, what you need to do if you're watching this video and you're new to spirituality, like you're just on your journey and you're seeking guidance and questions, because we all know how that is. We're gonna do a video too, speaking on like how it was for us when we
oh
first
yeah,
started,
man.
and noticing all the synchronicities, feeling like we're crazy, like can't
Yeah.
nobody understand, and
Yeah.
it's just so we're gonna do a separate video just speaking on that, because we know everyone goes through that. Everyone goes through that phase.
It's normal,
It's normal.
man. But we
Yeah, it
really
definitely
want you
is.
guys to know that we're here for you. We feel for you. We've been down that path. I like to
Mm-hmm.
tell people spirituality is a lonely path because you're not following anybody else's.
Exactly.
You're carving your own path.
Exactly.
It's highly unpopulated.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than taking your shoes and trying to put on everybody else's shoes, aka following and stuff like that, you're actually learning how to embrace yourself and your own spiritual gifts.
Exactly.
You're working with energies um that may bring out gifts within you that you may never knew you had, but once
Mm-hmm.
you go deep within self, all of these beautiful things are happening to you.
Exactly. So hey, listen, remember, I'm gonna end this with this. Remember, you're not a shepherd. Know thyself. You don't need
Yes.
a shepherd. You're not a sheep.
Yes. You don't need to
So
follow the herd.
that's what I meant to
Yeah.
say.
You don't need to follow the herd.
You
If
don't
you
need to follow the herd, because what they do when you follow the herd, you get slaughtered.
slaughtered. Yeah, exactly. You get
So
slaughtered.
like no, you gotta be yourself and don't be afraid to believe in yourself and go within. You're not alone here. It's many others who on the same journey, on the same path, but they might not just be reaching out and speaking out. But that's what we're here for. We're starting new. So listen, peace and blessings. Until next time.
Peace, man. We love y'all.